Wow, that's a long time. I did not think it was that long. Howdy everyone! So today I'm here to just explain a little bit about my photography journey and just share that part of my story with you guys. Photography has been a part of who I am for the last five and a half years. I'm just going to start by explaining how I got into photography. So, softball was a huge part of my life growing up, like literally the thing that defined me. But come my junior year of high school, I discovered that softball wasn't in the cards for my future. And so after just sitting there and wanting something else to do, I found my mom's old camera. So I took it with me anywhere that I could. I shot my sister's sporting events like her softball games, her select softball games, and her middle school volleyball and basketball games, just up from the stands just to kind of get some practice in. And then I would also ask my friends to just go around town and just let me take some portraits of them, just to practice that and work on composition and technique with that. At the time, I was actually using a Panasonic Lumix camera. The lens was not detachable, so it was just one lens that just zoomed in and out, and I couldn't change it out. So at the time, it was a very good beginner camera for me. It allowed me to kind of figure things out with settings and everything. So it was a very good beginner camera, and I used it for my first paid gigs that I got, which were some of my friends' senior pictures when they graduated from high school. I remember having 2 paid gigs, and they were so much fun just to get to shoot people and actually feel like my work was worth something. My senior year of high school, I also volunteered with my church in my youth nights that I went to, shooting event style photography and just capturing before the service night and then worship and the speaker, and just having pictures that they could post on social media. So that was a great way for me to grow too, figuring out low light settings and all of that. And I continued to shoot my sister's softball games just because I love sports and I just loved being in that environment and finding a new way to connect with it. So the next part of my journey was coming to A&M and bringing that camera with me. I joined the A&M photography club. It taught me so much about settings and how to use my camera, as well as gave me some incredible opportunities like getting to shoot the queen herself, Reveille. That was such a fun experience to be around her and to see how photogenic she actually is, and how she behaves just normally and not in a huge crowd. I also continued to practice with friends, just asking them if I could take their pictures, especially my roommate Julia. She was a lot of fun to take pictures of because she's a ballerina, so we could get some really cool shots and stuff. But Christmas of my freshman year of college, I got a gift from my grandparents of a new camera body. It is a Canon Rebel T6i, and it's still the camera that I use today. Hoping to upgrade that soon. But it was one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten. I love this camera so much. Another good camera to kind of learn from and start out and continue to develop yourself until you're ready to like make a huge purchase, like I'm hoping to soon. And this camera does allow for interchangeable lenses, so I was able to try new things with a 50mm with the lower aperture, and just really loved what that did for my portraits. And so I continued to just practice with friends, and I actually got asked by some of my friends to shoot their senior pictures, probably my sophomore year I think, and just got paid to actually do that, which was so much fun. I also joined the battalion staff as a photographer in January of 2019, and that role, as I've talked about in other videos, is just, I loved my time at the battalion so much. But being a photographer for the battalion allowed me to cover different events on campus, set up some stage shots just to go along with whatever stories were coming out, and cover sports. I covered so many sporting events. I picked up almost everyone that I could, everyone that I wasn't working. With the ticket office, I wanted to shoot just because I wanted to get as much experience as I could while I had this access available to me, which I'm super blessed that I was able to have that access with the battalion. And if you want to get into anything news-wise, like coverage, writing, journalism, photography, covering sports, I highly recommend joining your school newspaper while you're in college or even in high school, just so you can get that access and start now and figure out if it's something that you're truly passionate about. And then later that year in December, I was given the position of the assistant photo chief. That fall semester, actually, our photo chief was working by herself. She didn't have an assistant, and things just got very difficult. It's very hard to run that whole thing by yourself, and so I applied to assistant photo chief to help her out. I didn't know what my goals really were for that position. I just knew that she needed some help, and I wanted to give that to her. But like I've said before, getting that position was one of the greatest things that happened to me while in college. I absolutely loved the role. It allowed me to grow in my photography so much and to become more confident in my skills and abilities and some judgment calls that I had to make. And that position allowed me to make some amazing friends. So now I'm still loving photography, and I hope to continue it either as like a little side hustle thing or hopefully make it like a full-time dream. My dream job is to become a sports photographer for the Texas Rangers organization. But now I'm just shooting freelance things for different newspapers or news outlets, and my own portrait gigs, and still just practicing with friends with that so I can continue to have work for my portfolio. And I have found a love for nature photography going on my different adventures with Bryce and with my friends. There's just so many ways that I can use photography now to keep it in my life, and I just love it so much, and I love photography, and I just can't wait to keep exploring it and trying new things. And so yeah, that's my photography journey. I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about that so you can learn some more about me. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.